it back now. I got the moves.
Hello, welcome back to Access, where Dave and I are back on the lovely rooftop terrace in LA.
Oh, yes.
Today, Dave, we've had our favourite day of the year.
Yeah.
It's the day we have our little holiday and we get to play the new PES. Although, it's not called PES anymore, Dave.
Is this not one of your points?
This is one of my points.
Oh, good.
So I'm gonna,
I was going to say.
I was going to do like a cool creative intro where I just dive straight into the points.
Right, sorry, yeah, I've ruined that.
You have. Anyway, point one of the 5 big changes coming to PES. The first change is that it's no longer called just PES. The full name is now eFootball PES 2020.
Yes.
And this is it's a big statement because
It is.
it means PES, or eFootball PES, to give it its full title now, is focusing or sees itself as like the football game for esports.
Yeah.
Which is a big deal, and that sort of has affected how they've gone about developing, and the changes they've made to PES 2020 have been informed by the fact that they are positioning themselves as the football game for esports, which is just it's a big thing.
It is a big thing.
It's a big change and an exciting one.
It is. I mean, I remember Pro Evo became PES. I mean, it was always Pro Evo when I was growing up.
It used to be International Superstar Soccer.
Well, true.
Then it was International Superstar Soccer Pro. And then it was Pro Evolution Soccer,
Which I always called Pro Evo.
And then Pro Evo, yeah. And then it was just called PES.
And it was officially PES,
Yeah.
because people called it PES anyway. And now here we are, eFootball PES 2020.
Yes, that is the first big change.
It's a big deal.
The second big change, or the big thing, is that Andres Iniesta, former star midfielder of Barcelona,
And our Master League team.
yes, best player to never win a Ballon d'Or, absolutely robbed of that for years,
Yeah.
has been a consultant, a gameplay consultant on the game.
Yeah.
So basically, Iniesta has come in and has advised Konami on improvements that should be made to the game, and from that has come 2 new things that are quite big. One of them is the finesse dribble.
Yeah, I loved this.
So we had a few games of PES.
We did.
The finesse
Not enough, to
not
be honest.
Enough, no,
but
not
yes,
enough.
we
Wanted
did.
to play for ages more. The finesse dribble basically allows you to do really good close control of the ball. So when you've got the ball trapped, you can hold down R1, I think it is, and just kind of move the ball around your body with the right stick. In fact, it's just the right stick, isn't it?
Just the right
it's
stick.
just the right stick. So yeah, with the right stick, you sort of move the ball around your body, and it feels really intuitive, and it's really snappy as well.
It is, and I don't know, when you're playing with a really skillful player as well, you're just doing lovely little touches that feel very cool.
Dave was playing
as
as
very easy.
PES Legends, which includes Ronaldinho, and you were annoying me, Dave. With
I know.
Way,
it was brilliant.
I just couldn't get the ball off him. So I telegraphed my tackles, and Dave was just like, whoop,
Nope.
little flick around the back. And you can combine the right stick with the left stick as well. So you can drag the ball back with the right stick, and then with the left stick, you can push off in a certain direction. So you can do like a drag back and a flick through your legs.
Yeah.
And with skillful players like Ronaldinho, Messi, etc., it sort of really liberates them and allows them to do really cool stuff.
I think, like you said, I think the key word is intuitive, because I've never been a player who's been. I'm talking about of video games now, not a footballer, who's been able to, or I've never really done skill moves. You have to learn those kinds of things. And it was just like instantly my thumbs knew what the score was, and how to use it, and it was very easy to do lovely little things that you just think that footballers should be able to do.
Yeah.
Like, these are pro players. They're doing these things all the time, and it was very easy to do.
And the other thing is the dummy shot, which I really like.
Yeah.
Now there's been like the fake shot before in PES, where you go to shoot and then you press the X button just before the player's about to shoot, and the shot cancels and you can feint inside. The new dummy shot allows you not just to feint, but also to put a pass on the end of your fake shot.
Yeah.
So you'll often see players doing this, clever, creative players in and around the box, like Iniesta used to be.
Yeah.
And I can see why he thinks this should be in the game.
Yeah.
As the player will go to shoot, and just as the player's about to shoot, you press triangle, and you'll, instead of shooting, thread a lovely through ball. And the fact that it's now kind of focusing on eFootball, it sort of makes sense because this is the type of move that will work especially well against human opposition, I think.
Yeah.
So human opposition that are looking at your body position to try and anticipate what you're going to do, and just having this tool at your disposal.
Yeah, exactly. It's a new weapon in the arsenal, isn't it? It's another thing to have to be considering. Like, is it going to be a shot? Are they going to pass? Shall I mark the man instead?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And in the esports scene, it's another layer of stuff to learn and become proficient with.
And PES has always been like brilliant at that kind of final third play when it comes to creatively unpicking the defence. And this just adds an extra layer to it. I think it's really, really cool. The third big change is a feature called Match Day, which allows you to play upcoming matches. It's like a live service.
Okay, yeah.
Upcoming matches that are going to be happening in real life. So say if there's a big Premier League clash coming up or a big European match coming up, and you can play as those teams that are playing and just like rack up points and stuff. And it's just a cool way to engage with the world of real life football, I think.
Okay.
So that's a cool thing. Fourth entry. Now this may seem small, but I think also it is very telling in terms of how PES is positioning itself, and that is the default camera angle has now changed to a more broadcast style. When I first played it, I was like, I don't know about this. But then I played a full match in this broadcast camera angle. By the end of it, I was like, this is pretty cool. Like, I like this. It gives it a more kind of, it looks more like you're watching a game on television. It's kind of slightly high up, and when you go towards either goal, it becomes slightly tilted. And you might think that may make it harder to control in those areas, but I did not find that. I mean, I played one of the developers and I beat him with this.
I wondered when this was going to come out. Yes, well done. He let you win.
He didn't let me win.
I was going to say, Rob, that you played a lot more PES last year than I did, and so I think you were slightly more resistant to this camera angle. It wasn't as much as you noticed the change. I knew that I didn't play as much last year. I could see the change, but I was instantly. So I watched Rob beat this developer. I instantly really liked this camera angle, and it's very clever. I was able, not as I wasn't playing, to watch it and notice some of the subtleties of it. And there are little movements like a real camera makes, like slight adjustments and things that just sell you on this broadcast camera. And I really like it. I think it does. It's just like you recognise from TV. You know? I mean, that is how we're mostly consuming football, and it's just like that. It's really well done, I think.
We should also mention you can obviously change the camera angle to like the default.
All the other cameras are still there.
They're still there, but I just think it says something about the way PES is thinking of itself, that it's decided to make the default camera angle this broadcast style camera this time. And the fifth entry is just simply how it feels to play, which we talk about every year, and it's definitely slower this year. That was absolutely the first thing I noticed.
Absolutely.
But in sort of like a, and it kind of feels like it yo-yos year on year. One year it'll be like, it feels faster and snappier this year, and it's like they're constantly tweaking that slider, trying to find the perfect balance. And it did feel, I think it makes sense when you take into account all the other changes, like the dummy shot. It basically gives you more time to think about the options, especially when you're in that final third and you've got like maybe midfielders making overlapping runs, wing backs maybe going up, and it gives you just an extra split second to make decisions, and maybe you'll pull off the dummy shot because you'll see like someone overlapping you, and it just felt nice and fluid and intuitive. I thought.
I think it's it's that kind of speed where you can be a little bit more considered, and I think actually the really telling thing about that is the new dribble stick, using the right stick, because that's all about close control. It works better with a slower pace of game. You can step back a little bit, invite defenders to come at you and make them look stupid. It's not all about hammering it up the pitch as fast as possible and trying to get a pass away. There's much more, I think, room now for, like I said, taking your time, inviting a defender to take him out of the stepping around and taking him out of the play, creating a gap here and there, and that kind of thing. So I really, really like this new mode of dribbling that they've got, and I think it works really well with that slower gameplay.
For sure. And I did also notice a tiny little bit of change with the ball physics, which I really enjoyed as well. It feels slightly more like a real football. Like
Imagine.
It does every year. Every year it's like, okay, this is what real football feels
now
like
this is a real football.
This is a real football, and this year it feels even more like a real
I
football.
can't believe I thought last year's football was a real football. This is a real football.
It's just the way that when players pass it, it just, as it moves through the air, if the pass comes off the ground a little bit, it gets maybe a little bit of whip on it, a little bit of curve.
Yeah.
The way it bobbles along the floor just feels a bit more satisfying this year. When a player controls it, when it comes off their shin, it just feels a bit more pleasing. It's one of those things that's really hard to articulate, and often in these videos we end up coming up with silly, cliched words like impactful, smooth, dynamic, which don't really mean anything, and you have to play it to kind of get what we're talking about. But it did feel really pleasing to play.
It did, and really Moorish, I think, most importantly. Unfortunately, you and I only managed to have 2 games together this year, which is slightly fewer than usual, and I just desperately want to play some more, especially because I can hold my hands up and say that Rob beat me both times.
I wasn't going to say, Dave,
quite easily.
I have,
But I honestly was thinking I'll get him next time, and then our time was up. So
alas,
I will beat you next time.
But there are 5 big changes to eFootball PES 2020. Let us know what you think of these changes in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe so you stay up to date with.
Get back now.